nowadays almost after every 15 days or 1 month you will get at least one news that some relative, some friend or somebody got this news, or somebody is suffering from these kind of challenges. So it's really a matter of worry. We want to know exactly how to prevent it, right? I'm going to share what are the general habits, what are the general thoughts about it, and what are my personal experiences. Those I will share so that you can get those tips, and which everybody can get the advantage of these particular tips. Okay, so to know about it, we should know the complete etiology of it, and what I'm going to do right from the base of the cancer to the habits. I'm going to cover everything in very short period of time. My request to everybody, if you have pen and paper, that is the best way. You can note it down, because this 56 minutes, it is an injustice to the cancer, which itself takes lot of time to develop, right? So I'll request that we should note it down, right? See, what is cancer is actually, it's a uncontrolled growth. Okay, it's a abnormal growth. It is not a normal growth. It is a uncontrolled one. Means it cannot be stopped so easily by the body, right? And another thing is, there is no death of the cells of cancer. So how it is, our general body cells, they have some lifetime, their birth and their end of that cell. It is said that in 5 years of our lifespan, almost every cell is replaced. But that is not case with the cancerous cells. And they also have one more property, that is known as metastasis. What is that metastasis is? It can transfer from one part of the body to another part of the body, and there it can actually form its colony there. That is the metastasis. And so it is uncontrolled abnormal growth of cells, having no death of cells, and having a metastasis, right? This is what is a cancer is. You will ask me question, oh, then even a small wart can be a cancer. The answer is no, because it has no metastasis. Yes, that can convert into cancer any point of time if the carcinogenic factors and our habit are towards that, right? So that can be converted into cancer. Anything can be converted into cancer. That I will come to that particular stage. Consider what is that actually the stages of cancer. For example, what are the stages which generally cancer starts with? See, it's not a one day that cancer develops. It's a many stages. Before even actually pre-stage, there is a stage 0, right, where we come to know some symptoms of it, but we always ignore because they are not that much of importance to us, and they can be even in a variation. Say for example, stage 1, when it comes stage 1, which is actually considered as a very pre-cancerous cell, where there is no metastasis. Okay, there is no actually kind of abnormalities, only a lump is formed, very small, and that can be removed very easily. It is said that at the stage 1, 90 to almost 95% of the people, if that particular cancer is removed, then that can be reverted back completely. Stage 2, again there is no metastasis, only it has a higher amount of lump there. In stage 3, there is a metastasis starts, and people, almost 70% to 80% people can definitely revert back stage 3. Stage 4, it is again lumps are also there, metastasis is also there, and the lumps are formed, or the colonies of the cancerous cells, they are formed everywhere, wherever the cells travel or proliferate. And stage 4, it is found that some of the lucky people, they maybe 60 to 70% of the people, they get their stage 4 and they are not affected much, and they have the lumps only of 1 or 2 places. It can be done operation, or there are many different line of treatments are there, and that can be then revert back, but again it is very difficult. Types of cancer, you'll find when it is stage 1 or stage 2, generally it is benign tumor or benign means which cannot proliferate, or it can be then converted into pre-malignant, where it can transfer little bit and then it's a malignant. Like malignant will be like cancerous cells which can actually convert it to a very very hazardous one, and they can grow in numbers, they cannot be stopped, they cannot do any function except growing them, they become gundaraj actually, and you will find they are like they are omitted child of our body, and then they will become rebellious. They will form their own vascular system, like they can form their own capillaries, vessels, and they extract food from our body, and as a result of it, that our body will get less nutrition. And also that these particular cancer cells, they are different in their DNA structure. I'll come in detail to DNA structure, and if anybody has question, because that every portion of this particular thing is a very big chapter of cancer. The malignant cancer can be carcinoma, the carcinoma of epithelial cells, means epithelial cells means which are actually a kind of very slimy cells inside the nose, inside the mouth, or in our gut. Those are the epithelial layer. Sarcoma, that can be of bones or connective tissue, or it can be a myelinoma, which is of plasma cells or myelin cells of the skins, or lymphoma, like lymphocytes cancer, or leukemia. I'm sorry, can somebody get on mute so that other can get facilitated? Okay, thank you so much. So leukemia as you all know, that is WBC or white blood cells cancer. See, these kind of, once they are gone to sarcoma or blastoma or carcinoma, it is very difficult to control them. It's almost that people say no, now it cannot be stopped, because it will invade the organs, and these organs will stop functioning, and it will go to another organ, and that will also stop functioning because of this mass. You will surprise to know in 2019 there were every sixth death was due to cancer. Okay, but in 2022 every fifth death is now by cancer, which means it has taken its position higher one. So it's very alarming one for everybody, including and very aggressively for particularly for IT people, that I will come to you for this. See, there are 13% of all these deaths were actually by breast cancer. So in female it is to be taken care of very much. I'll come to the reasons of it so that we can take care of it. And lungs cancer, the second largest reason for cancer is again nicotine. Okay, so so you will ask me question that okay, how should I check myself that I don't have any problem or I don't have any dangers of cancer? So see, you should have sensitization of your own body, okay, of your own sense organs, of your own habits, of your own daily parameters. If you have sensitization of particularly all these things, for example, do you have a frequent ulcers in your mouth? If yes, then you have to think of it. You may have deficiency of B complex, but that root of that deficiency of B complex may be a something which is towards the malignancy, or maybe something that your epithelial layer is getting cracked, necrosis of the cells is getting done, and that's why frequent ulcer in mouth, you have to always take care. This is not good. Okay, if you find anywhere in the body, right from your top of your head to the toe, that there is some lump or there is some small knot is there below the dermis or below the epidermis, then you should take care of that. You should not ignore that. Okay, you should go definitely to the doctor. You should try to squeeze it that check whether it is really painful or not painful, or is there any colorization or decolorization is there. So you should be sensitive about that. If you lost the appetite, you feel down, you feel that there's no appetite and your weight is very fast reducing, you should immediately report to doctor. Okay, I have seen people whose weight is reducing, they say, boss, nowadays my weight is reducing, even I am eating, but I don't have any appetite. Well, this is not good. You should have appetite, you should have craving for the food, right? This is a normal, very very normal characteristic of a person. So of course, when you have heavy sweat, okay, or even in the night you have heavy sweat, you should take care of it, why it is happening. Or you have a lot of tiredness or fatigue, okay, you should think. If you have blood in the tools, then also you should think that there is some complications. It can be ulcer, it can be a stomach, inside our stomach there are ulcers, and because of which there can be definitely bleeding or bleeding in the urine. Okay, there can be a possibility of cervix cancer. Okay, or if you have constipation, constant diarrhea, then also it is very important. Okay, if you have very persistent cough and sneezing continuously, or if for a female, if there is a prolonged menstrual bleeding is there or very irregular one, okay, then you should definitely think of it. Or if there is a complication in urination, then you should think that no, I should go to my gynecologist or my doctor, and I should get it examined. There is a misconception that if I have a mole, then I'm very rich. Okay, it's not like that. If your mole's size is increasing, okay, then it's not good. Okay, it's not a it's not a thought of richness, it's not a matter of richness, it's a matter of that you have challenges. Okay, so if your mole size is increasing, okay, so you should think of that, no, this is not good. There is a huge very big theory that there is a primary mole, then there is a secondary mole on our body. Okay, all those theories are there definitely, and I agree with the science, but at the same time we should not be blind to note that increase in size of mole is not good, and it can be a benign or malignant case of cancer, right? So I'll go quickly some of the myths we have about cancer and how to prevent it. Very important myth, that the person who have genetically, okay, cancerous cells will have cancer. Okay, it's not completely true, it is partially true. Okay, remember, genetic makeup is such that it will pave you or it will direct you to do that, but it will not generate by itself any cancer. For example, you have a habit of getting a smell of petrol, and you always go for petrol to smell the petrol. You feel very very sweet smell. This is the warning that the person like the smell, and person will try to go towards that petrol smell, and this will cause a malignancy. It's not like that the gene which causes immediately cancer. It will be aggravated by the factors. If your father or your mother has a habit of smoking, then it is likely that you will get that habit of smoking or alcohol, and if you don't control. But everybody can control themselves, okay, and can definitely stay away from the cancer. So gene plays a role, no doubt about it, but to make them dominant in our life is very important. If gene can be there, see, for example, I'll tell you one example, that gene of our eyes, say lens, the cells of lens, they are same actually genetically as that of cells of my nail. There's no difference absolutely in the DNA. Then why nail has a protein keratin and it is opaque, and my eye cells, my lens cells, they are transparent, because the expression of that gene of transparency in the material, which is of collagen, that transparent protein is prepared because of the DNA setup. But at the same time, my nail will have a protein keratin, or will have a protein which is not transparent, which is opaque. So it is the expression is different. Now if the expression of that particular cancer cell, cancerous gene is not done in any of your body cell, there won't be any cancer. The expression of that is also partially dependent on something called as, underline it, epigenetics, not genetics. How? Epigenetics. You have good friends, you always have daily cigarette with them, you have alcohol with them, it's epigenetics. Nobody can stop you then embracing the cancer, right? So epigenetics plays very important role in particularly cancer. And believe me, I have seen many such cases, many health aspirant whom I dealt with, and these habits which I am going to definitely tell you about, the habits which are good habits and bad habits. There are some habits which we don't know, and we come to know that they are bad afterwards. Okay, so one of the habit which I'll just explain. You might have gone to some squares or somewhere where there is a crossing. You might have seen there are kids, or there are kids who sell this mogra, what is known as gajra, that's a mala of mogra. You will find this is smell from even 20 feet or 50 feet. You can smell the mogra that particularly from 30 feet. And I'll tell you to check the same mogra on the tree, on that particular herb. You will not get smell unless and until you are in the range of 1 feet of that particular tree, that particular herb. Why? What is the difference? Is it that they have different mogra and these people have different flower? It's not like that. The flower which is there with these sellers, that has been actually sprayed by a very cheaply available compound, which is a volatile compound, and that's why you can smell it. It is highly carcinogenic. You won't believe. I come to know accidentally when I come across one of the health aspirant. Very unfortunately, she is not there. She used to have this habit that after getting this mogra, she used to put it in her hair, and one fine day they come to know that she has the pharynx malignancy, and that was a very bad day. And everything was fine except one thing, that this particular habit. You believe me, all those things which smell very fast, well, and they have not been tested properly for the malignancy in the pharmaceutical industry, any smell, better to stay away from it. This is a very important thing, important mandate. There were, in our past, always we had some mandate according to the pharmaceutical company. It will change every 10 years. Example, I will tell you. You heard of cyclandylate, which is one of the sweetener, right? Cyclandylate. It was 50 years ago. It was used, and after some years they say that cyclandylate is carcinogenic, means it is cancer forming, because there was a aspartame which has come. Okay, after 10 years they say aspartame is carcinogenic. Okay, so now there is another molecule, sucralose, which is our free sugar, the sugar free and all those brands, right? So they say aspartame is carcinogenic and sucralose is better. We don't know. I request never to use any sweetener. That is even worse than our sugar. This is my very clear cut opinion. Never to use any sweetener. Better not to use sugar, because sugar also cause cancer. I will explain you how it is, right? Sugar in very high amount, it is picked up 40% more by carcinogenic cells or cancerous cells, and they picked up, they grow very fast, and then as a result of it, you can say that even if you have small amount of colonies of cancerous cells, it will be very big, because sugar is picked up by them very easily, right? So these kind of habit you should avoid. If you see, alcohol is one of the reasons of cancer in the world. It is the second largest reason, right? Why? Because they found that 3 million deaths every year, okay, they are caused by alcohol. Alcohol causes 200 plus diseases and including cancer. Okay, what is the mechanism of action? Very simple. We don't know, but we should know. Alcohol binds the DNA. What is the root of cancer, by the way? Right? The root of cancer is that it intercalates DNA. Anything that goes to the genetic makeup of our body, not to the skin, not to the cell. Inside the cell, there is a nucleolus. Inside that, there are chromosomes. It is made up of DNA. That DNA has a double helix structure. And in that, there are nitrogen bases. Adenosine, thymine, you might have heard it, 7th standard, right? Those who have had biology. This ATGC has the double helix structure, and in that double helix structure, if there is a reaction occurred by some of the carcinogenic material, it will cause cancer. Example, alcohol. Okay, though American Society of Cancer Foundation and all those people, they say 1 drink per day is okay, 2 drinks per day is okay, everything. You will get all those material on your YouTube. Who knows, boss, what is the carcinogenic dose of alcohol? People who are taking alcohol throughout the life, they may not have cancer because their carcinogenic dose is different. Somebody who takes just 1 peg may have cancer because that person's carcinogenic pathological dose is small. We don't know our dose. We don't have to try also, right? So alcohol is one of the reason. Why alcohol is reason? Very importantly, especially female, it is found that those female who are consuming alcohol regularly, they have high chances of breast cancer, right? It has, like, alcohol is a methylating agent. It adds methyl group in the DNA, and that is why it is very, very carcinogenic. But though they say that alcohol in a small amount is okay, that people will say, okay, instead of whiskey I should go for wine, instead of that I should go for beer and everything. Ultimately it is C2H5OH molecule which is going inside you, will give you effect, right? So, and also mostly which cancer is formed by alcohol? It's a liver cancer, okay, mostly because it binds the DNA. That is the one reason, correct? Alcohol has the effect of inhibition of inhibitory controls of the brain. What does it mean? The statement is little bit complicated. It inhibits the inhibitory controls of the brain. Means it has taken out the inhibitions. You feel free. You will get the psychodependency, and as a result of it, you will get into habit. Better to stay away from it. Okay, yeah, there are lot of opinions that okay, you should take 1 peg, 2 peg per week, like that, everything. It's all individual choice, right? But it is also recommended by the Cancer Society of country that better to stay away as much as possible. The second important reason is very much connected with that is a lifestyle. Over the period of time, like diabetes nowadays considered as a lifestyle disease. The day is not far away when even the cancer will be considered as a lifestyle disease, because it is found that most of the people who have stress, depression, they are going into the stress for a long period of time, they result into development of cancer. And once they come out of the stress, okay, if it is not malignant, it is a benign, it can be reverted back. So stress, because of n number of different hormones, stress will also release the estrogen, stress will also release the corticosteroids, and very importantly, stress will reduce your immunity. Why it will reduce your immunity? Because those immune molecules, antibodies which are formed, okay, by our body to fight with the cancerous cells, they reduced when stress is there. And you will find that whenever stress is there, people will have more and more infections. Okay. Also, again, this is my personal opinion, generally people who are very intelligent, they are in stress, and all people who have till now formulated cancer in their body or developed cancer in their body, most of them were very intelligent. This is my opinion. You can scan your ambience people who suffered from cancer, you will always find they were very quick. Okay, they were not dull. At least you will find they were not dull. Number two, they may be allergic, they are quick, they are intelligent. You remember those people, okay, they are intelligent, and that is the reason they form not by talent but because of stress. Okay, the cancer is developed. So stress is the reason. Because see, is it that everybody of us doesn't have cancerous cells? Yes, we have cancerous cells, everybody. Abnormalities are forming everywhere within our body, but at the same time there is a mechanism known as autophagy or apoptosis, that is killing of that cell. Body can kill that cell through our immunity, but if they are not wiped off from our body, then they will form the colony. If they get proper nourishment, then they will form the colony. So natural death of that cell will be actually prolonged, and as a result of it form the cancer, right? So very important, smoking, that is the first reason where we should stop completely nicotine. Actually it is that particular compound, nitrogen containing compound ring it has, which actually what you can say, delay the apoptosis or killing of the cancerous cells, and that way it will help. Okay, apart from its central nervous system stimulating effect, or apart from its other effects of what we say it as a brain stimulating effect or nervous system stimulating effect, it has a effect of it will also reduce your immunity. Okay, so tobacco is very important. One more habit which we have, that eating every now and then and increasing our weight, right, and getting into a kind of situation where we have gases, we have indigestion. This is what ultimately actually lead to some conditions which are favorable to the cancer. Correct. Better to have a good meal at particularly 2 times a day. Okay. There is a scientist known as Yoshinori Oshumi. This is from Japan. He got a Nobel Prize out of it. You know what is for Nobel Prize he got? It is known as autophagy. See, this Nobel Prize is for intermittent fasting. When we do intermittent fasting, our cancerous cells which are there, even in small amount, they will get actually lysed, and they will get wiped off in our blood, or they will get wiped off from our urine, these cancerous cells, right? And for that he got the Nobel Prize. In all the countries, okay, by their ancient epical scriptures, they say that you should have fasting at least some time in a month. Okay, it may be any reason, any myth they have, but the myth is correct here, because at least one day in a month you should have fast, you should observe the fast. And he got the Nobel Prize because he has proven that if you have intermittent fasting, your autophagy, that is killing of the cells by itself, is increased, and that will reduce the cancer. So everybody of us, we should have at least intermittent fasting. Okay, how to do intermittent fasting, that is a very big again discussion. We will have separate session on it, about intermittent fasting. But remember, overweight, BMI more than 24 is definitely an invitation indirectly to the cancer, right? Too much of sugar, that is one of the reason. Too much of sugary substances, okay, especially white substances which have glycemic index more than expected of say 60 or 70. Like sugar is available, so it can be pav, okay, it can be bread, it can be all kinds of bakery substances, okay, those are not good. I have one case, the person was from TCS. Now he is not in TCS, but now he is living very healthy life. And it was just 6 years back, the person came and he had a tumor, and doctor told him that we will operate it. They have operated it, and the person was very healthy afterwards. And then he said, you can eat everything what you want. And this person started his gym immediately after getting well. The tumor, this is a brain tumor, it was a schwannoma which was operated, and within 3 months he immediately came and say, my tumor got filled. Basically, when there is an operation of this brain tumor, it will get actually shrink after the operation, because they'll keep a kind of vacuole there and it will get shrink. Then we analyze what has happened, what you have done, what you have eaten. He said, I ate everything, I was doing gym, I ate a lot of paneer. This was a question. This is the practical case I am telling you. Deliberately I am just keeping the name secret. Next time it happened, he went to again neurosurgeon. He said, the neurosurgeon said that okay, we'll have to operate. This time he has gone on completely fruit diet, no paneer. And after that, within 7 months after the operation, his tumor got completely shrink to almost 0.11 centimeter, from 7 to 9, 0.7 to 0.9 centimeter. So this was the case. So I won't say paneer was the culprit, but I'll definitely say that a kind of too much of dairy product are also not good for our weight as well as for health. Okay, too many of dairy product. Okay, arsenic is another thing. If particularly in Jharkhand, particularly in some of the western side of Maharashtra, there are some places where arsenic is there because of the industrialization in the soil, and this is very very bad, and it can interfere in the DNA. Okay, one more reason, and you can definitely stay away from it. Any exudates from the vehicle or from the coal tar industry, right? You should stay away from it. You won't believe that when I analyzed it, this is again my personal opinion, but you will be with me. See, you all know that benzene, which is an aromatic compound. How to say aromatic compound? Simple. A black sooty flame coming out of its burning, it is an aromatic compound. Benzene is highly carcinogenic, which is one of the product from the petroleum industry. Okay, one of the product out of the what is coming out of the vehicle. Okay, exudates. So this benzene, which is a sooty flame structure, I was actually lighting the holy stick, and I found there is a sooty smell out of it. There is a sooty flame. I was surprised, and I found that the benzene structure or aromatics test for it was positive. We light it in our home. We light it many times. It's an aromatic one. So I went to doctor and I asked, was this is the way? And doctor said, if it is aromatic, no, it should not be lightened. Then I said, what should I do? Doctor recommended me better to have in your home dried cow dung and burn it, because it has a cellulose. Ultimately, dried cow dung has a cellulose. It has many positive things. That is the best. Nowadays there is a therapy which is just to sleep in the cow stable for a day and get the advantage of curing the cancer. Surprise, already its patent has been taken by Japan. So we lost it. Okay, we are losing lot of things. This is one of them. Okay, so you can search on net and you will get the all details of it. Okay, very important point. Whenever there is a burnt sausages, burnt food, it is coal tar or is a tar. It's a coal actually. Never ever eat burnt thing from your meal. Remember, this is very very carcinogenic. It will enter into your DNA, right? So it is found that people who are more non-vegetarian, okay, eat more sausages, eat burnt food, roasted food with the burnt portion of it, they are more prone towards the carcinogenicity, right? So it is better because it liberates the coal actually, right? And this coal contains benzopyrene, so it's a very carcinogenic, right? So okay, if you are from the chemical industry, okay, there is a hexavalent chromium, or there is a polyesters are there, okay, or phenol is there, or formaldehyde, okay, they are very very carcinogenic. One more carcinogenic agent is always kept in your home, and that is a microwave. Okay, so remember, you should have microwave. You should not use it, but you should have it, because if you don't have microwave, oh, you are working in IT industry, you don't have microwave at your home. You should have microwave, don't use it. Okay, use simple gas, the cylinder gas or the pipeline gas, okay, but don't use microwave. One more important aspect you will find about the polythene. Okay, see, this polythene is something which has lot of people mandate not positive. Even doctor says better to stay away from it. Already government of India has banned the very thin polythene which has a particularly diameter less than some dot mm, right? Why? What is the reason behind it? Very important thing, that it has a leaching. Any polymer, I have found over the period of time, any polymer, if that has a structure, biochemical structure or chemical structure, which is not a biochemical structure, because biochemical polymers are generally safe. Chemical polymer, okay, which has a similar structure as that of the DNA, it can interfere in DNA. And one of them is definitely polyethylene. polyethylene in a very high quantity, leached quantity, that can interfere in our body, and that can actually intercalate the DNA. I'm surprised when there was a news on TV, and I found so many people, they are using the paper glass, correct? When they are using paper glass, and if they have hot tea in it, there is a leaching. If you take it once, twice, thrice, maybe 100 days, it won't be a problem. But if you take it continuously, who knows what is your carcinogenic dose of that polyethylene? Nobody knows. So remember that if you take it in an earthen pot every day, maximum what can happen is infections to you. That's fine. Infections are not bad. It will increase your immunity. But polyethylene or plastic or leached plastic, that can cause a problem, right? So better to stay away from it. I have seen people who actually go to vada pav thing in ink. Ink has a base, lead base, and lead is carcinogenic. And I have seen, particularly, I tried to squeeze that vada pav on a piece of paper and found that the letters on that paper, they will get actually smashed, it will leach, and your vada pav have very good remnants of lead ink, and you are eating it. I won't say vada pav causes malignancy, but I will say what is that sticking to that paper is definitely a carcinogenic in nature. So whenever you eat vada pav, okay, take your own tiffin, get into that, eat it. Okay. I have also seen, when I was passing by road, and roadside I found there is a pan, very big pan. Okay. And that person, very big pan in which that vada pav is done. So what I did, I say that okay, I will clean this pan, right? They say, for what you are cleaning this? I want to just know how to do it. And I found it has a huge amount of tar inside it. The vada pav was tasty, but the tar was carcinogenic. Okay, generally what they will do, they'll put some oil, and that oil will be continuously refueled or refill after some days. They'll never change the oil, okay, for years together, many times. So they'll just put the oil in it, they'll add the oil which is rancid also is there. Every day it is getting get the heat, it will lose its complete structure, it will become definitely carcinogenic. But we don't know, nobody has done the research on it. Okay, otherwise we'll stop all those things. Okay, but when you stop, you will feel the change in it, right? It does not mean that okay, we should not eat, but definitely you can reduce the frequency of it. Okay, so another thing, when you are exposed to the asbestos or asbestos containing structures, for example, there is a building or there is a structure going on or infrastructure development is going on, rather to stay away, because they have, or the electric infrastructure material is there. Asbestos is the one which found to have a property of developing lung cancer. Okay, so that is another important thing. Pollution. Okay, see, if there is a metal mining or industry where there is a household waste is burned. Nowadays household waste is not allowed to burn. You know that there is a law in it, because this household waste generally have cadmium, and this particular cadmium causes again interference in the DNA structure, correct? So we should stay away when you are actually burning. You should not burn this waste, you should give it to the municipal corporation vehicle. That is the best way, correct? Don't burn it there. Okay, so burning does not mean that you are just cleaning it. Burning does mean that you are polluting it, very importantly, right? Effluent of vehicle, these contains butenes, okay, alkenes. They say that a chemical type is alkene, having double bonds, okay. And another thing, it has a benzene, okay. And these benzene, generally filters try to filter them, right? A vehicle filter. But if you are in pollution, definitely that you are at cancerous risk. Okay, one more thing, this people may not like, still I would like to say, but because it is there are paper published on it, that is tattoo. Okay, tattoo, people have habit for this tattoo, see, we avoid coal tar. Why? Because there is a benzopyrene, okay, having a benzyl and pyrene ring is there in that chemical structure, and this benzopyrene causes the cancer. Tattoo has the same thing, and we are very happy to put our tattoo, okay, permanent tattoo I am saying. So be actually cautious about the colors. Number one, see, colors which are actually edible, which are to be put on the skin, which are to be developed permanent tattoo, they are very costly, they have to test it for their carcinogenicity, their allergies, right? But if they have not been tested, they will be very cheap, right? And that's why we should avoid this kind of thing which has this tattoo, permanent tattoo structure, right? Very important point. We know that UV light kills the organism. Those organisms which are not get killed by UV light, they become resistant to UV. If we are exposed to UV, any ultraviolet light, okay, too much of sun, right? It has some of the IR, some of the UV, definitely it has too much of sun, or sometimes the UV light in the pharmaceutical industry, generally for the sterilization, UV light is used, or many times it is used even in household, some of the instruments. So we should not get exposed to UV light, remember, because it will cause definitely killing of the cells. At the same time, it will cause the rest of the cells which are exposed to UV light but they didn't get killed, they will become actually carcinogenic, right? But of course, prolonged exposure is there, and that's why, very important thing, it is found that frequent eating of fried potato and also burnt potato, that causes definitely help to grow the cancerous cells, right? There are bottles like they are say that bisphenol A bottles. These bisphenol A bottles, they are generally colored bottles. I have seen a person, I requested that person stay for just 1 minute. When the person was actually taking in this bisphenol A water, hot water from the coffee machine, okay, the person was very health conscious. I said, boss, you are very health conscious, can you give me 1 minute please? He said, yes. So you are drinking hot water? Yes, because on net I have read that drinking hot water will clean our gut. I said, very good, but sir, you are drinking hot water in a plastic bottle. Yeah, I have that bottle only. Okay. I said, no, plastic bottle will leach you. BPA bottle, it will leach, it will cause problem. Boss, there are two things. One is aluminium bottles and plastic bottles. Never use it. Throw them. Better to use any metal. Copper is okay, brass is okay, steel is okay, sometimes iron is okay. And if not there, nowadays we get even earthen pot bottles, those are also okay. But don't use, please, plastic bottles, right? Tell it to your colleagues, never use plastic bottle. One day it will definitely cheat us. Correct? We have a habit of taking sweetened beverages. Lot of beverages we have, non-alcoholic sweetened beverages, and we feel very good after drinking them. Correct? Very frequently drinking people, they develop this particularly. Why? Very simple. It has lot of fructose, lot of sugar. Fructose is a kind of sugar, a kind of glucose. Fructose is actually a kind of stereoisomer of glucose. Okay, so it's a stereophonic, same structure, same chemical formula but different structure, right? But it causes fatty liver, and this fatty liver is ultimately responsible for changes in the liver, and ultimately responsible for, particularly when the carcinogenic other agent adds to it, leads to malignancy. It's not alone. So better to stay away from especially the sweetened beverages. No doubt you all know this is very big joke, but this truth. If your toilet cleaning bottle is empty or it has finished, and if you want to clean the toilet, what is that best liquid you can use? It's very simple. It's all that sweetened non-alcoholic liquid having Coke that can be used, because it has a carbonic acid, right? Can you imagine the strength of it, what it must be doing in our stomach? So these are some of the what I can say, some of the kind of cancer causing agents. What are the best to avoid this particular thing, or to get rid of this? Very simple thing. What best is intermittent fasting. Okay, never ever stay away from physical activity. What is physical activity? Very simple. You should have a twist and turns and yoga and exercise, anything you do, so that your armpits are wet by sweat. That is the formula. You should have 20 drops of sweat. You can stay away from cancer. Okay, you should eat cruciferous vegetable. Cruciferi is the family. Cruciferous vegetable is like broccoli. It has actually sulforphan. Since this sulforphan is definitely very much anti-cancer property. Lettuce, cabbage has a carbinol that can be used. So these all vegetables, they are mostly anti-cancer. Soya bean is very good, which has a genistein, which can be used as an anti-cancer. You won't believe, onion is an anti-cancer. It has one alkaloid known as quercetin. That is an anti-cancer one. All berries. Whenever you get a chance, always eat berries. Any berries. You'll find blueberries has delphinidin, which is anti-cancer. Strawberry has a ellagic acid. It's acid, but it has a very different structure, almost like a DNA structure, and it has a very good anti-cancer. You can eat apple. Grapes has a resveratrol, which is anti-cancer. Very important one, daily eating vegetable tomato. It's an anti-cancer. It has a very good lycopene. Lycopene is the chemical which it has. So daily one or alternate day one tomato. Yes, finish the cancer. No need of too much of further complications. Green tea is anti-cancer. Very good. It has a catechin gallate. So gallate means gallic acid actually. Catechin gallate is a chemical which has a green tea. Garlic So garlic has one chemical structure having a two allyl molecules along with the sulfide. So diallyl sulfide, which is a chemical in garlic. So better, if you are eating garlic, you won't have even the heart problems, as well as you won't have any malignancy. Chili itself is an anti-cancer. You will not able to believe this, but chili has a capsaicin. With this capsaicin alkaloid is an anti-cancer. If you have at least one dose of, say, flaxseed, okay, along with water or along with milk, a flaxseed if you eat, which has a linolenic acid, it's an anti-cancer. This linolenic acid, it is known as a phytoestrogen. So for example, a female has estrogen, the phytoestrogen is in the plant. Okay, the best anti-cancer is a citrus fruit. All citrus fruit, they are best anti-cancer. For example, lemon. Okay, generally this citrus fruit has limonene. Okay, and this limonene alkaloid is anti-cancer alkaloid, right? All sorts of our kind of masalas, they are almost all anti-cancer. The best is turmeric, which has a curcumin alkaloid. Okay, this curcumin has a 7 different structure inside it, the isomers, out of which one is very highly anti-cancer properties, curcumin. So better never ever stay away from, particularly from the turmeric. So always put turmeric, right? You have that way oils also which are anti-cancer. For example, frankincense oil is there, sandalwood oil is anti-cancer. Okay, aloe vera oil is anti-cancer. Aloe vera itself is an anti-cancer one. Okay, it is a latest research in Ayurveda that gomutra, urine of cow, okay, desi cow, is also very anti-cancer. Rather, there is a therapy on that. People are going through it. Of course, they don't have the that much of sample structure, but they have there are cases where they got the success out of it. Okay, grass leaves or wheat grass, that is also very good anti-cancer, right? If you say that, okay, no, I cannot do this, at least drink water, enough water. Okay, that will wipe off the cells, the dead cells from your body. That will actually help to keep you hydrated and stay away from, definitely from the cancer. If you are performing yoga, okay, this particularly better to have at least Shitali Shitkari. Okay, you should have the Anulom Vilom every day. You should have the sun salutation. We have sun salutation every day, right? Those can be done. Sarvangasana, Janushirasana and Dhanurasana. These are also very good asanas to avoid any further malignancy development. Always try to keep the health of our nose better, to avoid any dead cells there. Try to have at least neti once in a week, that is jalaneti, right? At least once in a week. And if you would like to actually have the complete yogasana of definitely anti-cancer, we will have a separate session on it. But definitely yogasana, pranayam will actually oxygenate you, and they will reduce the risk of the cancer. Preservatives, yes, very good question. See, there are two things which this is my personal opinion again, that the do not use any kind of non-stick pans. Okay, the material which is used, it has not been tested for cancer for long time. It has been tested only for no leaching, but you will find over the period of time there is a leaching always there. Small amount of those remnants of that black coating will always come in your food. Okay, so better to have no, as a safety. telling better not to use the coated pans. Better to use plain metal pans with the heavy base. That is the better option. Okay, if you have a heavy base pan, it will work similarly as that of the coated pans. Preservative, yes, heavy amount of preservative, they have chances of developing malignancy. That's true. Okay, I heard that eating 4 to 5 leaves, curry leaves, yes, curry leaves are have an anti-cancer. Remember, curry leaves, when you eat, you have to wash it cleanly, because there are fungus, the black fungus is there on curry leaves. Okay, better to have everyday curry leaf in your meal, right? To avoid breast cancer, you should actually better to have every year the check of breast cancer. Every almost female should check their breast, okay, for any kind of lump or any kind of small amount of touchy lump or tough lump is there inside. They should check every day using soap or using the wet hands, right? My question is do we have any specific test which can confirm the base level of the cancer? There are many tests, definitely. There is a even gene mappings test are there, PCR are there. Okay, nowadays they can tell you how whether your cancerous cell is dominant or active. That also can be, but that is very costliest test, definitely. They are there, but okay. Simple yoga exercise, unable to do simple yoga exercise, that is a challenge. Okay, if you want to live life, do yoga. Okay, that can only save you, right? Can we detect cancer with the blood test? Yes, blood cancers can be detected with the blood test. You see PET scan, if you see CT scan, MRI, or you see the particularly except the histochemical analysis or histopathological analysis, all other scans, they are they actually check the lumps there. 2D or 3-dimensional structure will be checked in that, and then they can actually check the test. You will get all the test on the net, definitely. So that is basically a information, very simple. Does sedentary lifestyle leads to cancer? Answer is yes. The fat cell secretes such kind of adipose tissue, they secrete such kind of chemicals which actually reduce our immunity and cause the cancer, definitely. So people having BMI more than 30, they are very likely get the 30 to 40% of people they have cancerous tendency. Can a metastasis 4-stage patient go for the umbilical hernia surgery? My God, this is a very pathological question, a very, very surgical question. Umbilical hernia surgery. I would not like to comment on it because I'm not a surgeon. Even if I comment on it, it will be probably mistake from my side. So I'm very, very clear about it. मेरी औकात इतनी नहीं है, sorry. Okay, but definitely I can suggest you in that personally, right? Cancer hereditary, I told it that cancer is not actually hereditary. The gene is there in the cancer, but it has to express itself, and that will cause only by your habits. Okay, yes, you are right. If close relative, family, dad or son, both, suppose dad and mother, they have cancer in their lifestyle, this likely that the person, kid will have, likely that the person will have such habits, that such environment, that it will lead to cancer. So that person has to take care more. Okay, shrinking after chemo, how can we identify if tumor is shrinking after chemo? Again, there are many tests are there in that. It's a very pathological one. I can definitely tell about it, but I'm not a pathologist, so I cannot say about it. Anything breathing exercise poses to avoid the cancer forever? Definitely, you do pranayam, first you do kriyas, all the Ashta Pranayam you try, okay, and after that you try Kumbhak, after that you try Udyan Bandh, and try to have the everyday Anulom Vilom and Kapalvati Pranayam. It will definitely give you good health, as well as stay you away maximally from the cancer. Agarbatti dhoop, is it carcinogenic? I told this answer already, right? Burnt food does taste good sometimes, exactly. Ghee ki berry, yeah, suffered what is that, stuffed sabzi. See, burnt food, again it has a problem. Tar is carcinogenic, okay. It tastes well because that taste, particularly our taste buds have a very good sensation for the burnt food, okay, very good sensation, and that's why it tastes well. It takes very different signal to our brain, and that's why it tastes well. What about oven? Is it safe? Any ultrasonic wave is not good, because ultrasonic wave, it increases the frequency of the water molecules which are there, and it also changes the configuration of the biomolecules, which can then interfere in the DNA, right? 9.5 hours sitting is in AC is good. It's not good. You should have a lunch time, and you should have the breaks in between, right? Velpuri in newspaper is not good, okay. So prevent cancer with simple habits. Thank you so much for accolade. Log. Okay, any question? How much cups of green tea to consume in a day? Green tea you can consume 2-3 cups, okay, as per your test. They are good. Green tea itself will stop yourself when you will feel that it is too much of bitter. You will stop it. How many pods of garlic? Generally 1 pod is okay for garlic, okay, to eat garlic. But too much of garlic, you will find that your skin will also then smell garlic, okay. So be alert about it. Tomato raw as a salad or cooked one. My request is that you eat tomato first. So lycopene, which is there in the tomato, at least some amount of lycopene goes inside your body itself is very good. Healthy weight gain for cancer patients occurred past.
Raghavendra, one question here.
Sure.
Raghavendra, one question. Like to interrupt.
Sure.
Sorry for that. See, in tomato also, that those seeds are there. Should they be consumed? Those seeds.
Actually,
in the tomato,
it is said that this is said that they are not good for kidney. Okay,
yes,
because
yes.
Yeah. See, the point here is, if you consume tomato too much, then there is a problem. Okay, a person if you eat a complete tomato for 20 years, okay, for 20 years, it will give you very good benefit, and its loss, whatever damage that is there, that is equivalent to eating 1 month pizza. You got my point?
Yes.
So you have to be relative. You should be relative about it. You should able to relate, because ultimately seed is a part of the plant, okay. But when you go for glutinous white flour pizza along with cheese, you are in trouble. So you have to know the damage of it, and you have to know the benefit of it. But a very, very, very good question. See, if we try to take out the seeds out of it, then itself is a very big task.
I want to ask about autoimmune disorders. The people are having autoimmune disorders. How do they catch it?
Yeah, so autoimmune disorder, it's a very big discussion. Believe me. See, see, the autoimmune disorders, there are different types. For example, you can also have the antibody generated for your own antibodies. You can have the kind of rheumatoid arthritis. There are many things in it. If you are not taking a medicine, definitely yogic sciences can definitely help in it. Better to
So
have
what? Yes,
okay. So but to go in details of it itself is a very big subject, you believe me. Okay, we
Yeah.
can have a detailed discussion on it. So
Sure.
okay, it's not a fair to have a discussion on the autoimmune diseases in particularly this session, right?
Okay.
But definitely we
Yeah.
can connect afterwards.
Sure.
Okay.
Hello.
Yeah, we'll take one last question.
As you informed about fasting, okay, what all things can we have during fast, like water, juices, or what is the best way of having a fast? Like,
Yeah, very simple. Fasting, there are levels of fasting. It can be very stringent fasting, it can be a non-stringent fasting. For example, you can have the 24 hours of fast and then eat. You can have water during that point of time. You can also have water plus or lemon water you can have. Then if not, one meal in between 24 hour. You can also have the for example a less meal or especially no carb that you can have. If or you can have reduce the quantity of it as much as you can. You can do that. The best thing is that you eat food when you are too much of hungry only. That is the best way to do fast. Okay, so thank you so much,
thank you so
my
much.
dear friends,